Hello guys, Nemox here, and today we are diving into What If Naruto Was an Uchiha Part 9. Before I start, remember to like and subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications so you get notified when the next video comes out. So without further ado, let's get started. A few minutes earlier, deep in the forest, near a waterfall. While Naruto and Sasuke were having the time of their lives at Choji's birthday party, Itachi was patrolling the outskirts of the village to report any suspicious activity. Itachi, after one of his rounds, decided to rest on top of a tree when suddenly a small shadow could be seen in the distance. Not being able to catch up to the person's speeds, Itachi activated his Sharingan and realized that the person coming at him was Shisui. As Shisui came closer, it became evident that he was covered in deep wounds and missing an eye. "Come with me, Itachi," Shisui says, confusing Itachi a little. Itachi, though confused and worried, followed Shisui without a word towards a cliff beside a waterfall. "Shisui, what happened to you?" Itachi asks, finally stopping. "Who did this?" Itachi adds, pointing at all the wounds. "It was Danzo. He attacked me along with his root members, and was after my special visual powers," Shisui answers, "and apparently he was also simultaneously massacring our clan to gather our Sharingans. I was only able to barely escape, and I had to sacrifice one of my eyes," Shisui answers, with sorrow in his face. "Danzo? That wretched person. If its news were to spread, the whole village will be ruined," Itachi thinks out loud. "How's the clan?" asks Itachi, finally realizing the severity of things. "I've already gone and checked. They're all dead," answers Shisui, seething with anger and clenching his fists. "I went in search for any survivors, but you were the only one I could find." "I don't think there are any of us left," adds Shisui, with great grief. "Wait, what about Naruto and Sasuke? And my dad? They couldn't have gotten to him. He's the strongest of our clan. If they couldn't take you, then they definitely couldn't have taken him down," Itachi states, confused. "Don't know how, but Danzo got to him. I found his body on the ground in your house. Naruto and Sasuke are at the birthday party of the heir of the Akamichi clan. I didn't go check, as I assumed that they were safe unless they somehow were separated from the group," says Shisui, calming Itachi down just a little. "Danzo, the village must know about this," Itachi states, seething with anger. "No, Itachi. As much as you and I would want to do this, we can't. As a matter of fact, we must do the exact opposite." "What? You're not making any sense. Why would you protect him?" Itachi questions. "Listen, I don't want to do this either, but we must. Like you've already realized, if the village were to find out, it would cause a huge scandal. Maybe even start a civil war. If a civil war were to break out inside the village, it will greatly cripple our power, allowing the neighboring nations to attack us, which would be very catastrophic," Shisui reasons. "Listen, Itachi, Danzo will eventually come after my left eye, and when he does, I won't be able to stop him. Which is why I will be entrusting it to you, Itachi, my best friend, to keep it safe," says Shisui, bringing his hands to his left eye. In a quick and seemingly painless motion, Shisui removes his own eye, holding it out for Itachi to take. Understanding Shisui's reasons, Itachi hesitantly summons a crow that grabs the eye from Shisui's hands, disappearing along with it. "Shisui, I'm so sorry. Because of me, you will now become blind. I ruined your life as a ninja," cries Itachi, with actual tears dripping down his face. "Don't worry, I've already got my future planned out." "Oh, and Itachi?" asks Shisui. "Yes? What is it?" Itachi asks, calming himself down from his sudden emotional outburst. "Please take care of the village. This is my final request," says Shisui, giving him a bitter smile. Shisui's last words confused Itachi, but very soon he put two and two together. The reason for choosing the cliff as the place to talk, the reason for Shisui to give up his last eye, and the reason Shisui passes his lifelong gold to Itachi. It all came together inside Itachi's mind. He leaps forward, attempting to catch Shisui, but it was too late. In slow motion, like time was moving at 1/10 of its original speed, Itachi witnesses his best friend, his idol, but most importantly, his comrade, free fall down the cliff. Unable to catch Shisui, Itachi mourns, while watching Shisui fall down to his demise. Shisui! Itachi cries out, heavily resenting his lack of ability to save his friend. No, not you too, he adds weakly as tears start pouring out of his eyes. As Shisui's body gets engulfed by the rushing waters of the river, an extremely hot pain could be felt at the back of Itachi's eyes. The pain was so intense, Itachi was forced to close eyes. Gradually, the pain became lighter and lighter, and Itachi could feel something changing within him. Once the pain in his eyes completely faded away, Itachi slowly opened them to reveal two eyeballs blazing with power. The Mangekyo Sharingan. Don't worry, Shisui. I won't allow the civil war to break out in the village, says Itachi as he turns around and rushes towards the Uchiha compound with his newfound powers. Near the Uchiha compound, along the way, Naruto and Sasuke talked non-stop about Choji's birthday party. Even when they were only a few dozen meters away from the Uchiha compound, they continued to express their delight. What do you mean the cake was the best? The barbecue meat was obviously the greatest. The juiciness of the meat steak paired with that perfectly sweet and sour seasoning. How could you say the meat wasn't the best? You must be delusional, Sasuke shouts. What? Me? Delusional? Ha! Sure, the meat was good, but we all know the star of the show was the cake. Do you even remember the size of that thing? It was huge! And don't forget all those different fruits at the top. They were perfectly ripe, Naruto argues back even louder. The two kept bickering about which one was better, until they finally arrived at the Uchiha compound gates. Walking in, the two boys noticed that the lights were off and not a soul could be seen. They found it weird, but ignored it and thought that people were just sleeping, so they kept quiet and continued to rush home. On their way, even though Naruto and Sasuke were quiet on the outside, they both couldn't hold back the excitement of sharing their story to their parents. But soon, their emotions changed, entering their home. As they entered their home, everything was dark. Not a thing could be seen. No lights were on, and no sound could be heard. Now, the two Uchihas were extremely suspicious. They knew that Mikoto and Fugaku wouldn't go to sleep without them. A bit worried and scared, the two boys called out for Mikoto, but no one answered. Hearing no response, Naruto and Sasuke knew something was wrong. They quietly took their shoes off and sneakily entered the living room, and to their horror, Fugaku's dead body could be seen limp on the ground. What happened? Naruto asks, shaking and unable to comprehend this horrific sight. Both Naruto and Sasuke then rush forward to approach their father. Dad, are you okay? Sasuke asks, worried, extremely terrified while shaking Fugaku's body. Dad, please say something, Naruto calls out, now with tears coming down his face. He's not breathing, Sasuke mutters while frantically trying to process his mix of emotions. Dad's dead? Naruto sputters, now holding Sasuke's hand, who is also in tears. Release! Release! Naruto and Sasuke cry out in unison, not believing that the strongest person they know, their father, is now dead. Realizing the truth, the two children then fall to their knees, hugging each other and drowning in their sorrow. After crying out all their tears, Sasuke finally says something. Naruto, we have to stop crying. We need to go find Big Brother. He can help us, says Sasuke, still shaken by his father's death. But, what if he's also, Naruto trails off. I am what? Answers a familiar voice, but with a bit of aggression. Big Brother? Sasuke calls out in a soft and weak voice. Big Brother Itachi! Father's dead! We thought it was a genjutsu, but, Naruto explains, running up to Itachi. With a flick of his wrist, Itachi throws a kunai right before Naruto, hitting the ground beneath them, completely shocking Naruto and freezing him in place. Sasuke, knowing that something wasn't quite right, quickly rushed over to Naruto's side. Foolish little brothers! You want to know who did this? Itachi asks with a cold voice. I did it. I killed our whole clan. You two are so gullible. Itachi laughs in a sinister tone. But why? Why would you do this? Sasuke asks, now under even more shock. You want to know why I did this? It was to test my power. I killed them all to see if I'm the strongest Uchiha. And just like I thought, I am. You two weaklings are even worthy for me to kill. Hone your hatred and come find me when you possess the same eyes. As Itachi, as he closes his eyes and opens them to reveal two bright red Mangekyo Sharingans. Hope I get to see both your faces soon, Itachi adds, before putting both Naruto and Sasuke under the Tsukiyomi. Being put under the overpowering genjutsu from Itachi, the two Uchihas fall flat on the ground and start spasming from the atrocities they were witnessing. Again and again, on repeat, was the scene of Naruto and Sasuke's role model of a brother massacring the whole clan. One by one, they watched their family, neighbor, and friends die while they couldn't do anything other than watch. Time seemed to stop for our two Uchihas. What seemed like 3 days of constant mental torture, in reality, only lasted 3 seconds. By the end, both Naruto and Sasuke unconsciously unlocked their first Tomoe Sharingan and laid motionless on the ground, completely out cold. Realizing what he has done to his treasured brothers, but knowing this was necessary, Itachi spared one last look at them before unwillingly walking away. Under the moonlit night, Itachi left the village with the last of his tears dripping down his face. And guys, this is where I'm going to end What If Naruto Was an Uchiha Part 9. Very sorry to how this episode was only 10 minutes, but this week was kind of busy, so I didn't really have enough time to write a lot of script. On a happier note, remember to like and subscribe to my channel and comment all your questions down below, and I will try to get back to them as soon as possible. This will be the end, so until next time, see ya!